So, now they believe, but none of them understand why I'm here. Well, they'll find out soon. The time has come. I must complete my quest. But perhaps I should give them their last frights first. Yes.
Later that day, James and Vulcan were chatting at Knapford Station. Ugh, it still gives me shudders, said James. I can't imagine. My encounter was horrific as well. Your encounter? What do you mean? I encountered the specter as well. Do you want to hear? Of course. Please tell me, said James. Very well. And this was the story Vulcan told. I was on my way home one night before I was stopped at a red signal. I assumed it was a goods train passing through, as it was the middle of the night and there wouldn't be any passenger trains out. Good heavens, I was wrong. I waited, but then a black Tender engine puffed in front of me. Its face was demonic. It began talking in a low, aggressive tone.
I hate you. You must pay for your acts.
It said, before it got in front of me. Came inches in front of me. I backed away and it puffed towards me. After I thought I'd lost him, I stopped in a siding before I heard a puffing noise, and it shot right in front of me before disappearing into the night. James was mortified. Oh my, said James. How did you react? As I say, I was stunned. I was shooken up for ages, but I knew why it came for me. Why? Well, how do I put it? I killed him. You what? I killed him. You killed... What? Why? I was such a bastard. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. This is why he's here. We don't know that, but still. I agree with the bastard bit, you definitely are. But still, why? That's probably why he's here. You're the one. You're the one he wants. The one he wants? Yes, he came to me and said that he's going to take the one that keeps him as a demon. That must be you he's talking about. Vulcan gulped. I suppose you're right. I guess so, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. That we will. Just then the guard blew his whistle, and James left, leaving Vulcan to contemplate what he had done. Later that night, at the sheds, the engines were chatting. When James brought up the topic that Vulcan had told him, you know Vulcan encountered him as well. What? Said Gordon. When? A few years ago, actually. Before he was on Sodor, actually. Really? Indeed. Jacob began chasing him and then shot out of the fog, coming right in front of him at a tremendous speed before disappearing. Good grief, said Thomas. That must have been horrific. It was. That's what he told me, at least, said James. I will say our encounter was horrible. Ours too, said Duck and Oliver. The engines all agreed amongst themselves. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom. There were some good things to look forward to in the morning. The engines all knew that. Ah yes, this surprise I was telling you about. 2 locomotives arrived on Sodor with a rail tour. They were Luca, a kind-hearted LNER A3 Pacific, and Gordon's brother. He wore a dark blue livery with red stripes and the number 20 on his tender. The other engine was Jimmy, an LMS coronation in a purple livery with the number 58 on his side and LMS written on his tender. After the two engines arrived at Knapford, Gordon and James were called along, as Gordon was Luca's brother and James was a cousin of Jimmy. The four had a lovely time chatting as their photos were taken from every angle they didn't know where to look from. They had a very good time, but as the day neared to an end, Luca and Jimmy told the two they were very tired, and they all made their way back to the sheds. That night at the sheds, all the engines had a wonderful time, particularly Alfred, who was happy to see another nor'easter on the island. They chatted as the night went on and into the morning. However, none of them brought up the topic of Jacob, until James did. The two engines didn't seem that scared, but were still a little concerned. However, the next morning, it was time for the two to leave.
"We'll certainly have to come back sometime,"
said Luca.
"Well, it was a pleasure to meet you all,"
said Jimmy, as the two puffed away. The engines said their goodbyes as the two engines puffed out of sight. "It was certainly nice to have another nor'easter on the island," said Alfred. "It certainly was. It was good to see my little brother again." I thought you were his little brother." No, he's my little brother. He's quite a new engine, and so's Jimmy for that matter. They're both built in 1940s, I think. I think they both worked in the London regions. I think Jimmy was primarily a goods engine. What about Luca? Oh, he was an express engine based at King's Cross. He got along very nicely. I see, said Edward. That's very nice. Well, it's good that you all knew each other. Yes. Well, I didn't know Jimmy that well, but I spoke to him for a brief while. That's very good, James. Now, I'm sure we have work to do. Indeed. But I still don't feel comfortable with the whole ghost situation. No. Well, at least it didn't show up whilst Luca and Jimmy were here. We all know how that could have gone down. Well, yes, but when you brought up the topic, James, they didn't seem that scared, did they? Well, they probably didn't believe us, Gordon. They probably thought we were junkies or something. James, what did I tell you about using the J word? I thought that was jealousy. No, it was junkies. Anyway, now, I'm sure we all have work to do. Exactly. Now let's get to it, said Alfred. Indeed. Throughout the day, all the engines were working incredibly hard, doing their tasks with ease. Except for Thomas, who was keeping up with his passenger trains fine, but as he pulled into Elsbridge was stuck hardly in thought. Gordon? Yes, little Thomas, what's the matter? Well, I've been thinking. You know how it's like a couple of weeks until Halloween? Yes, what's the matter? Well, it's just like, that's the anniversary of Jacob's death. What if he's planning something then? Well, my little Thomas, we'll just have to see. But I suggest we keep up with our jobs. Yeah, I guess you're right, Gordon. Thanks for setting me straight. No problem, Thomas. What are friends for? The guards blew their whistles, and both the engines departed the junction. Meanwhile, at the transfer yards, Duke and Peter Sam were chatting. So, have you heard about the ghost that's been terrorising the main line? Yes, I have, Grandpuff. I'm awfully scared for them. Well, I wouldn't worry too much. I'm sure everything will be sorted out soon. Out of my way, you bumbling cigars, said Diesel 10. Kuch, what's got his claw in a twist? Said Peter Sam. I don't know. He's a troubled sort of engine, you know. Diesel 10 was still racing along the main line. Until he found Philip. Ah, Philip, there you are, my little friend. Oh, hey, Diesel 10, what's up? Said Philip. Not much. I have a plan to stop this wretched Jacob ghost, but I'm going to need your and the other engine's help. Right, so what do I do? You're going to be... I don't know, but I'm sure I'll think of a use for you, but anyway, I need you to get the word to the mainline engines that I have a plan. Right, okay, I'm on it. Good. So Diesel 10 got out of the way, and Philip went to look for mainline engines. Philip was still searching around, but at the sheds, all the engines were chatting. Oh, that was a long one, said Thomas. Yes, it was, said Edward, but at least that's all over. Just then, an LMS whistle sounded out. Oh dear God, here we go again, said Thomas. And he was right. Jacob steamed into the sheds.
Well, well, well. All of you in the same place. It must be my lucky day. But whilst I'm here, this is your final warning. I will come for you, the one who keeps me this way, and he will go with me into hell.
It said, before puffing out of the sheds and disappearing. Everyone was shocked. Oh my God, said Gordon. That was horrible. Oh. Good God, are you okay, Gordon? You look like you're about to jump off the rails. Oh God, the indignity, that was horrifying. Just then, Philip's horn could be heard in the distance. Philip? What does he want? Philip, what's the matter? Said Thomas. Well, it's my boss who wants to speak to you. Not my boss, my best friend more like, but still, he wants to speak to you. Your best friend? He means me, said Diesel 10. Oh God, what do you want? Said Thomas. Right, listen to me. I have a plan, and you're all involved, said Diesel 10, pointing his claw at the engines, mainly at Thomas and James. Right. Now, from what I overheard... You overheard that? Yeah, I was just round the corner. Duh. How do you think I got here so quickly and conveniently? Touché, said Thomas. Can't say I've ever heard of plot convenience before. Hey, no copyright strikes, okay? I've had enough of that. Sorry, Zach. It's alright, Thomas. Carry on. Right, as I was saying, now, listen. Right, let him speak. I have a plan. But you're all involved, okay? So listen up.